Series, and they are packed in here at Minute Maid Park. Last night, a good one, 2-1. Houston won it. See if the Yankees can even this series before we go to the Bronx. And now, welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, along with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. If you like power pitching, if we got the game for you, these guys are going to come out blowing the ball. Talk about Luis Severino first. This right-hander, he didn't even know if he was going to make the club coming out of spring training. He was an all-star. He had a very poor start. Didn't even get through an inning in the wild card game, and then came back and was outstanding against the Indians in the division series.
Yeah, all about redemption. That wild card game, he was a little too amped up, didn't breathe through the start, and then he pitched in his second game, and I think that's what he's going to do here. It's the young guy that can throw 100 miles an hour against the cagey veteran who can rush it up there still. But Severino, it's about fastball, changeup, slider. He must be better out of the zone against this great lineup.
There are, in professional sports, trades, and then there are trades. It was a real trade and a big deal for this young Houston Astros club when their general manager, Jeff Luhnow, went out and got Justin Verlander from the Detroit Tigers.
It is the difference maker, a last-second difference maker. This took the club from a very confident club to a team that can win it all. And all Justin Verlander has done is dominate since he's been here. He's a postseason veteran, but now his new home, he has absolutely felt like it's been his whole career. So for the Astros to go all the way to the World Series, Justin Verlander, that trade, that difference could be exactly that.
They got him. The Astros were having an off day. And Jose Altuve said, I couldn't wait to see him in an Astros uniform. He had to wait a day. Well, we all get to see him in an Astros uniform. Going to be a good one. It's the Astros and the Yankees in Game 2.
They say their youth is wasted on the young. The Yankees ace, 23-year-old Luis Severino, isn't listening. Others tell you that age is just a number, but 100-mile-per-hour fastball is the only number 34-year-old Justin Verlander cares about. It's ALCS Game 2.
Telecast is presented by Camping World, America's #1 RV retailer since 1966. And is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. There's the matchup. Inside the matchup, it's Luis Severino against Justin Verlander. Can't wait to watch JV pitch here today. Here's Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Joe. Well, at age 34, Justin Verlander has his best fastball since 2011. And this may be one reason why. Like a lot of pitchers, Justin told me he believes the seams on the baseball have become lower. Now, lower seams mean less drag. Less drag in a four-seam fastball, that's good. More carry through the zone. It has influenced how he pitches. Nobody in baseball threw more high fastballs this year than Justin Verlander. Now think about what the Yankees will see inside 24 hours. Last night, Dallas Keuchel, low and slow. Today, Justin Verlander, high and hard. Now this is where I throw it to Ken Rosenthal.
Tom, Jose Altuve is 11 for 19 in the postseason, a marked contrast from his performance in the 2015 Division Series when he went just 3 for 22 against the Royals. Altuve was so crushed by his failure to produce in that series, he walked into A.J. Hinch's office immediately afterward to apologize. Hinch hugged him and said, "You're not the reason we lost, you're the reason we're coming back." Well, Altuve is back and back with a vengeance. 3 home runs in Game 1 of the DS, 3 hits in Game 1 of the ALCS, and more to come.
Yeah, last night was his third 3-hit game of this postseason, and he leads baseball in the extra action during the month of October in batting average, slugging, hits, home runs, runs. But right now we're talking about the starting lineup for the Yankees. It's brought to you by State Farm. Little different look than last night. Brett Gardner leads it off. Then Aaron Judge in that familiar #2 spot. But Didi Gregorius moves up. He's hitting third. Then it's Sanchez, Bird, Castro. Little left, right, left. Hicks, Frazier, Headley. And the DH spot for the Yankees, not good. Chase will try to break that streak. 0 for 24 is the designated hitter spot for the Yankees during the postseason. Here he is, Justin Verlander, 5-0 In his career here in this stadium, and opponents have hit barely anything against him.
Yeah, in a day and age where condensed windup, he still has the classic windup. Gets out there, overhand curveball, slider, changeup, and of course that fastball that he can ride still plus 96 miles an hour. He will have his work cut out for him if the Yankees stay true to their approach. Make him work. Foul pitches off. Get the pitch count up. For Justin Verlander, he's going to want to do the opposite.
And he will be challenged in that regard by the first guy he'll face, Brett Gardner. Here's the defense for Houston. Same look as last night. Marwin Gonzalez threw out Greg Bird at the plate from left, joined by Springer and Reddick. On the infield, third to first, Bregman, Correa, Altuve, and Gurriel. The catcher is Brian McCann. There's Marwin Gonzalez, who plays 6 different positions. They won't use him in center. They won't use him at pitcher or catcher. But his manager, A.J. Hinch, said of all the positions, left field might be his least effective. Well, he was effective last night. Glad you're with us today on Fox. Game 2 of the ALCS. Houston won last night 2-1. Brett Gardner first up. Ball on. Gardner went 1 for 3. Been a .419 hitter this season against Houston. The Astros, by the way, have won 6 of 9 games played head-to-head against the Yankees, including last night. There's strike 1.
Verlander's going to want to get a lot of those fastballs early down, and then he'll climb the ladder with 2 strikes.
Strike 2. In an era where it seems like every bullpen has 3 or 4 guys that can throw 96, 97, 100 miles per hour. Verlander was one of those who, before all that was going on, could hit triple digits late in a ball game, like he had something left in the tank when he needed to blow it by a hitter. This crowd wants to see this game start with a strikeout.
I called him like a 10-speed bike, the rare ability to change gears throughout the game. And a lot of people thought a couple years ago they might have been stripped a little bit. He was going downhill. It was not the case. He was hurt. His mechanics got in the way. He's fixed all of that, and he's right back to that elite type pitcher that he's been most of his career.
This is what Gardner does better than just about anybody in the game. Stand up there, shorten his stroke, put the bat on the ball, and make the pitcher work.
I thought this would be the key for the theme of today's game. It could very well be foul balls. How many foul balls do the Yankees spoil of good pitches of Verlander? And they have matched up quite a bit, and this is the same theme with every at bat. Verlander has faced Gardner over the years, and Gardner's got him on a couple curveballs. Now Verlander will go to the changeup against left-handers and that slider.
Another 1-2. Another foul ball. Our Geico pitcher profile for Justin Verlander.
Well, right away, try to get quick outs, and that's already becoming a hard thing right here in the leadoff spot. Climb the ladder. That's the fastball height that's going to be different than yesterday, and he loves his new home. Boy, he feels comfortable here, undefeated. And the old little arraignment, welcoming himself to the judge, who they have not hooked up in a regular season game.
Struck him out one way to start the day.
This improved slider from Justin Verlander. It's a pitch he's been working on, and the break is what he wants. And since coming here to Houston and the technology they have with the slow motion camera, he detected a flaw in his release point and arm height. And he said that has been a big difference since coming over here, and you can see it in the numbers.
The Yankees are tired of hearing about strikeouts. 21 straight innings with at least 1 strikeout. Ties for the longest streak in the postseason ever. First at bat between power against power. Judge against Verlander, strike one.
And typically a veteran pitcher would love to get through this inning against Judge with fastballs and not show him too much. Well-placed fastballs, maybe get him upstairs as well.
Instead, a wrinkle on the end of that pitch, strike two.
That tight slider in the zone.
Lincoln Motor Company keys to the game.
Well, and for the Yankees, early traffic. Their leadoff hitters per inning have not done a good job of getting on base. The Astros have. And for the Astros, based on the way that they're wired, if Verlander can give you 7, that gets the formula for A.J. Hinch to his bullpen. And we'll see the availability of Giles and how much he has in the tank after yet last night's performance.
Strike one to Didi Gregorius. 0 for 4 last night when he was hitting cleanup. He's up in the number 3 spot. The Yankees last night struck out 14 times. Keuchel had 10 of them. Little flare out behind second base. Correa. A quiet inning against Verlander, who's already 2-0 this postseason. Struck out Gardner, then Judge. No score after a half. Today's telecast, presented by Camping World, is sponsored by Budweiser, who reminds you to give a damn, don't drive drunk. By Hankook Tire, chase down your passion, never halfway. And by the 7-seater Volkswagen Atlas. Life's as big as you make it. How about the lineup brought to you by State Farm for Houston? Same as game 1. George Springer, Josh Reddick, Jose Altuve, Correa, Gonzalez, Gurriel in the middle. Beltran, Bregman, and McCann. The bottom 3 against the hard-throwing right-hander, Luis Severino.
See the numbers on the road. Much better. 0-1.
Game winner during the regular season. Good ERA of 2.98. But as he hits 98 on the second pitch to George Springer, he was not good against Houston.
He left a lot of secondary pitches over the middle of the plate against Houston, and that is not a good remedy.
Jammed him a bit, little flare into right. Judge to his right, 1 out. Look at the difference between the team he has to try to beat here today compared to all other teams he faced in 2017.
Yeah, and it's a lineup that if you don't have your A stop, you're in big trouble, and he did not have his A stop. The velocity aside, the changeup's going to be a big pitch, I think, for Severino. We all know he throws sliders more often than most, and the changeup could be one of those recipes that throws the Astros hitters off.
You are going to hear good sound thanks to Joe Carpenter, who mans our audio in the truck with the pin popping with these fastballs here today. Our Geico pitcher profile for Severino.
Well, arm side command, what does that mean away to a right-hander? Slider has to be really good. He cannot roll. And the dull roar is what he has to have. This crowd cannot have him fired up and really just get through the lineup twice. Yeah, the bullpen tonight for the Yankees is loaded. The only guy not available is Chad Green, and even he would be available in the right situation, according to Joe Girardi. But they don't have to worry about him. They've got David Robertson. Here's the first one to Altuve, base hit, his fourth in 5 at-bats. And he's on with 2 out in the first. And man, does he love to jump on the first pitch.
He does not mind seeing anything in any area. And the previous at-bats that Severino has had, I would say 80 to 90% sliders. He goes with a first pitch fastball. You're not surprising him. Tremendous ability to hit the high fastball, to keep your head down on the barrel of the bat as if he's seeing the ball hit the bat. What a talent.
All right, now Carlos Correa. Canley and Chapman, the other two, along with Robertson, ready to go today. Breaking ball is down for ball 1 to Correa, who had an RBI last night. Went 1 for 4 in game 1.
Small sample size, but 3 for 4 off of Severino. He too can handle the fastball, and we'll see a slew of sliders. First pitch slider there.
That ball just jumps in there at 97 miles per hour for this right-hander who doesn't turn 24 until February.
Well, it looks like he's just playing catch, and the ball explodes out of his hands. He's made an adjustment with his hands and where he comes set. He's been the biggest adjustment of his career, and it's why he's had the type of season he's had.
That ball, that's down for ball 2. I'll say again what we said at the top. Luis Severino was no guarantee to make this team in spring training, and for that matter, neither was Aaron Judge. And here they are. One guy with 52 home runs, the other, Severino, an all-star. And they're asking for a good one here today. 2-1. 2-2.
Yeah, he really had 2 monster bad games. That's why he's not in the higher echelon talk of the Cy Young. He's had a Cy Young campaign, but he gave up 9 or 10 runs to the Red Sox. You saw his number against Houston. Other than that, it's been a dominant year for Joe Girardi. He was in the pen last year late, and to your point, maybe not a solid role, and he has answered those questions.
Now a 2-2 to Correa. Shoot on Altuve. Severino went 0-8 in 11 starts last year, after as just a young pup being 5-3 in 2015. And John said he was back in the minor leagues. Now he is a front end of the rotation starter. 2-2 pitch.
Well, Pedro Martinez, who everybody idolizes, and certainly Severino did, had a conversation with Severino and talked about where his hands were. Now his hands come set close to his body. They were coming set away from his body. It was unorthodox. It was creating kind of a square type mentality where he wasn't connected. Now he looks so smooth, like this is the way he's always been. So that little adjustment became huge in this year's success.
Full count, and that will give Altuve a head start at first. Runner goes, and a foul on the play. Just to look way ahead. Last night, Kent Giles, a closer for the Astros, went an inning and 2/3 at his most taxing relief appearance of the year, pitch count wise. They also used Davinsky and Will Harris out there, but a little thinner for A.J. Hinch in the bullpen compared to what Joe Girardi, who celebrates his 53rd birthday today, has in his pen. Another 3-2. 2 on, 2 out.
Yeah, Joe, the formula is a little different for Joe Girardi versus A.J. Hinch. the Yankees usually win a game like yesterday. You hold them to 2 runs, they're usually winning. So you got to feel like if you're AJ, you stole one just a little bit, because the game being close gives the advantage to the Yankees later in the game because of what they can roll out of the pen. It'll be interesting to see how it kind of materializes through this series.
Darwin Gonzalez now, who went 0 for 3 last night. 2 RBIs this postseason, but he finished with a 9th best average in the American League at 303. A breakout year offensively, 23 home runs, 90 RBIs for the super utility player. Left side of the infield, pretty open. Strike 1, good pitch from Severino. Gregorius is obviously up the middle, right behind Altuve.
This is what makes playoffs, besides the obvious, so much for the fans engaged. But 2 outs. 2-out runs are like worth 3 times what they actually are in the playoffs. As a pitcher, you definitely don't want to give up a 2-out run. You don't want to give up any run. It has such a different feel when the team can get a big 2-out hit.
Severino throws a rocket to first. 2 left. A hit and a walk. 2nd inning. Game 2. Yankees and Astros scoreless. To the ALCS presented by Camping World on Fox. No score after 1. A perfect start for Verlander with 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. Sanchez, Bird, Castro. Sanchez, who is the premier young power-hitting catcher in the big leagues. 33 home runs during the regular season. Fooled there, strike 2.
Curveball, then the slider. At some point, Justin will try to elevate the eyes and the fastball up. 2 strikes might be the case here. High fastballs, curveball combination, low fastball, slider combination. This is what you basically say good morning, good afternoon, and good night when you throw 3 different pitches. There's the good morning. Welcome to Uncle Charlie. There's good afternoon if you think that was nasty. And then good night.
Jose Altuve liked it. Here's Greg Bird. Homered last night. Actually had 2 hits. Got 9 home runs since mid-September. September 15th. That's number 2 in baseball. To his teammate Aaron Judge, who has 10. Only 1 this postseason. That's a strike.
Well, the Yankees aren't strangers to having success against Cy Young pitchers. They took care of Kluber, which is still, when you think about it on paper, so difficult to do twice in a series. They're not intimidated. They just need some of the pitchers to show cracks and leave a pitch up over the plate that they can handle.
That is just straight up into the air. And down into the glove of the taller guy. Our Volkswagen Atlas road to the postseason for Justin Verlander. It's been a long road if you take it all into account. Number 2 overall pick in 2004 to Matt Bush, by the way. He was a Rookie of the Year. He was a Cy Young Award winner and an MVP. And he's a guy that if you want strikeouts, he's your guy. You want no hitters, he's your guy. And traded on the 31st of August. If you believe the reports, at 11:59 and 58 seconds, that trade was okayed by Major League Baseball. By 2 seconds, they got him in under the wire. What a difference he's made.
No, it literally was. And talking to him, it was the hardest thing he's had to go through. Certainly his whole career in Detroit, an iconic pitcher, and all things that led to this kind of trade literally came down to the wire. Once he got here, he saw what it meant. He saw the talent, the atmosphere, the crowd, and the opportunity that laid ahead of him. And boy, he has not disappointed. And this crowd has right away made him feel like one of their own.
Castro is at the plate with a 1-1 count, 2 out, nobody on after Greg Bird hit that towering pop-up. Carlos Correa caught it. That's on the inside corner, strike 2. An infield hit for Starlin Castro. And we and the Astros and the rest of the world will take a look at that replay. It was that close.
Well, this is seriously in your kitchen. He throws the perfect pitch. And this ball is about as softly hit with a broken bat. Altuve had to come a long way from his position. I still can't tell. I haven't focused in on the bag and the catch.
Well, you get an extra challenge in the postseason, and yeah, looks safe. But if you're AJ Hinch, maybe you say, why not? They're not going to challenge. Good call by the first base umpire and the crew chief, Gary Cederstrom. So now 1 for 7 for Starlin Castro in his career against Justin Verlander. Altuve did all he could. Aaron Hicks had a 6-game postseason hitting streak snapped with his 0 for 4 in game 1. Ball 1.
Yeah, all of this matchups came with the Twins against Verlander. 0 for 9 coming in is Hicks, but he is a much different player than when he faced Verlander with the Twins.
2 times on the DL this year, still managed to hit 15 home runs and drive in 52. Strained oblique. Good swing. On a high mid-90s fastball, strike 1.
Verlander, much like Kershaw, is one of the rare pitchers that can handle all 4 quadrants. He has the ability to go up, down, in, and out, and he complements it with pitches that do opposite things. So not only is he tough to hit with just his fastball, he changes the hitter's eyes with his fastball. But that slider, that really the slider has made such a difference for Verlander last year and a half.
Swung right through it, strike 2, 2-2. go back to that pop-up. We went to the Verlander retrospective, and there's Bregman in front of Correa. And Correa is taller than both Bregman and Altuve. And Correa took it in front of his third baseman.
Well, I got to change my scoring. That's an F5-6. They both touched, yeah.
Here's a 2-2. Struck him out. And like Keuchel last night, Verlander in game 2 has struck out 4 of the first 7. Bottom of the second, Astros will bat, no score. Today's telecast, presented by Camping World, is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Beautiful city of Houston, Texas, that's been through so much since Hurricane Harvey in August. And baseball was a nice diversion. Football has been a nice diversion, with Deshaun Watson doing what he's doing at quarterback as a rookie and in the hands of Bill O'Brien. That's going to be a nice marriage between those two, and will make Texans fans very happy.
Yeah, they're hoping this is like a 3-day dream weekend. 2 baseball wins, a football win. Can't get much better.
Here's Yuli Gurriel. Takes his strike, and now he's in the hole, 0-2. Gurriel, Beltran, Bregman. Swing by Gurriel, who's been incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing that Severino's got to get a little better. I mean, the past experience, if he looks at the video, he'll just know the reason the Astros had success. He made poor location pitches. And when you got 2 strikes, you cannot come close to the strike zone on the Astros hitter. That was way too close.
Gurriel is hitting .500 this postseason, and that's not close from ball 1. Saw that little graphic. So for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes.
The challenge against the Houston lineup is, like, for example, Gurriel so much better against righties than lefties. He stays on the ball. You've got to get the ball looking like a strike, ending up as a ball.
Gurriel lays off that pitch. It's down 2-2.
There he went with the changeup 2-2. I said yesterday that most of the changeups from these guys would be an average fastball in yesterday's game, 90 miles an hour out of Severino, but that's still 9 miles different than his fastball. See how it just kind of stays there? But the plate discipline for the Astro hitters is why they're the hardest team to strike out.
From 0-2 to 3-2. Altuve's getting all the attention because of what he's doing, and Gurriel is right there with him, swinging the bat. He's locked in. He takes a walk to lead off the inning, and Severino can't believe that was called ball 4.
Called ball 4, and quickly called ball 4. That was a really good pitch. And just to tell you again, this is a borderline pitch and a great take, I guess, if you're on the Astros side, and a great pitch if you're on the Yankees side.
Still shaking his head as he digs in at the rubber, and will deal with Carlos Beltran.
That's been the big difference so far in the series in the playoffs. The Houston Astros have been getting their leadoff guy on at a really good clip, where the Yankees have not.
That's a stroke. Carlos Beltran is playing in his 60th career postseason game. He's been to 1 World Series. That was with the Cardinals in a 6-game loss to the Red Sox in 2013. That's a strike. 1-2.
Still a good low ball hitter, which means if you're Severino, you just want to entice him to go lower than low.
Time called before the pitch. And just to back up what you were saying with regard to leading off an inning, the Astros coming into this game, hitters hitting .350 with a .381 on base percentage leading off innings. By comparison, Yankees hitting .138 with an on base percentage of .219. Fouls it.
See how good a swing he had on that? I mean, that's just his natural swing pattern. So you got to go deeper into his back foot. He tries to, but see how he leaves. That's just such a good swing for him. He did pull it foul. Severino's got to think dirt.
Pops it up, right side, playable. One away as Castro puts it away.
So let's show you the difference that I was talking about in the glove, where his glove is in his rotation when he gets ready to throw, and watch where it goes up in the left-hand side of the screen and then stays quiet in the right side of your screen. That is a huge difference for his command, for his effectiveness, and now you can imagine his confidence. Everything connected as one, as opposed to being a little disjointed with the hands out away from his body.
You think David Ortiz was watching that back in the studio?
I'm sure.
Bregman comes up empty, strike one, and two members of postseason baseball television coverage involved. Not just David Ortiz on the Fox team, but Pedro Martinez, who, as you said, was the one tutoring this young, hard-throwing right-hander Severino during the offseason. He's with TBS, and they'll get underway later today with Game 1, Dodgers and Cubs. That's down, and Sanchez thought about throwing behind the runner. They said that Bregman went around, so instead of ball one, it's strike two on that check swing.
Great pitches away. You do not want the ball leaking back over the middle to middle in off of Bregman. Got to get him reaching.
Alex went too far as they appealed to Cedarstrom. Timeout now called by Sanchez. Off day tomorrow, then Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. Nighttime ball game. Charlie Morton against CC Sabathia. 0-2 pitch. CC, who couldn't go 5 in Game 5 in Cleveland, but did strike out 9 through 4 1/3. Set up the Yankees for what was a win to get to the ALCS. 2-2.
Well, in a series, if you're a starting pitcher, you always want to pass that on to the next guy's game in a better situation. So in other words, for the Yankees, you'd love to be 1-1 and hand the ball to CC. The Astros, ironically, have never gone up 2-0 in this format.
Not during LCS play. A team that went to the American League in 2013. They've gone from the NL West to the NL Central to the AL West. Crane took over ownership back in 2011. Have a meeting on the mound, and part of that deal was agreeing to move to the American League West to put 15 teams in each league, which happened in 2013. Boxing is coming up after baseball on Fox.
Yeah, which meant they had to change the roster, strip it down, build it up, and that's exactly what they've done. In 2012, they predicted, or hoped they would predict, the 2017 World Series championship based on their game plan of how they were going to acquire talent, develop talent, and produce on the field. So far, that looks like a pretty good play.
Their homegrown drafted talent is why they're here. Period. Might be. Castro. Gregorius. Inning over. And Severino gets around the leadoff walk. That sends us into the third inning. Game 2. Astros Yankees, no score. Third inning, no score, and the guy who just welcomed you to October is on. He has struck out 4. He's allowed 1 hit. That was a broken bat infield single by Castro last inning. We'll deal with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters: Frazier, Headley, and Gardner. Verlander getting a lot of swinging and missing at pitches out of the strike zone. Severino so far has had to throw more strikes, but neither one cares. Nothing on the board yet through 2. 2-0 pitch here to Frazier.
They say timing is everything, and the timing couldn't have been better. 5-0 in September. 1.06 ERA was Verlander with a 149 batting average against. That's basically dominating. He's free and easy. Hasn't been a lot of stress pitches. He's been able to kind of make the hitters put on notice that he's going to throw strikes, and he's got 3 other pitches he can throw at any time.
Verlander was not Verlander-esque through the 30th of July. Was 5-7 with Detroit, ERA of 4.5. Since 12-1, ERA under 1.8. 2-2 pitch. In the air to left center, and Gonzalez glides to get away.
Hard to believe that's the first fly ball to left field.
That was freaking you out about last night.
Well, it does. That just goes to show you how good the pitchers were last night, staying and making hitters stay up the middle. They didn't make mistakes in the inner part of the plate, which that short porch has got to make a lot of pitchers nervous, because it doesn't take much to get it, A, out of the ballpark, and B, off that high wall. So credit the pitchers.
Here's Headley. DH is hitless this postseason for the Yankees. A team that hit the most home runs hitless out of this spot. The DH spot in their lineup, wherever that spot's been. Headley is 0 for 12. Hit 12 home runs during the regular season and has hit Verlander 6 out of 15. That's why he's in there. That's into right. Back at the wall. It is caught for out number 2. What a grab by Reddick.
Good swing. Thinks he might have a chance. Reddick short fence. Gets there. No problem.
Verlander appreciates the effort. 2 out, nobody on for Gardner. Play out of right field in game 2. They got the assist out of left field in game 1. Bird was cut down to the plate by Marwin Gonzalez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner battled him his first time, eventually struck out. And pitch number 41.
Mainly fastball sliders out of Verlander. We haven't seen many changeups. It's a field pitch. He's going to read the hitters and try to see when he can engage them in that changeup.
Pretty economical. This will be 41 from the right hand of Justin Verlander with 2 out, nobody on. 3 balls and a strike. With Aaron Judge on deck. Full count.
Gardner's doing his part. 7 foul balls, 10 on the game against Verlander. There's times I can just tell you, you're under your breath going, just put it in play. Stop this.
That's down into the corner. At least 2. Gardner will dig and go. Throw by Correa. It is not in time. And immediately the Astros say challenge it. The third base umpire is Jerry Meals. And Gardner may have made a mistake by making the third out. At third base, let's see.
Yeah, you just can't do this and make the out at third. Great relay, good arm by Correa. It was a little bit off. Watch Bregman get back, get the tag. And the Astros are pretty confident. They are walking off the field as if he is a no-brainer out. It was close.
I think he's out.
It's close.
That's the second time this postseason. It happened with Frazier in the Indian series. As the replay review is sponsored by W.B. Mason, where Frazier tried to steal a base and Aaron Judge was left standing in the on-deck circle. And now you've got Gardner making the final out at third base with Aaron Judge coming up.
Yeah, with 1 out, that's a great play. It's a risk reward. With 2 outs, you got to really be sure you're going to make it. He rounded the bag and looked. And he is out.
It's a double, and then the putout, 9-6-5. From Reddick, who also made that catch at the wall, to Correa, to Bregman. The plays by Reddick. Up against the wall. And then he started the relay that got Gardner no score after 2.5. Number 9 hitter Brian McCann leads off.
Strike 1.
Strike 1. Well, Brett Gardner knew immediately. He and Bregman both knew that Gardner was out. Joe Espada is the third base coach, nice enough to wear a microphone for us for the second game. He was waving Gardner to third as he was rounding second, I think to Gardner's surprise.
Strike 2.
And he makes the final out of the inning.
Well, it's one of the hardest jobs in the world as a third base coach, because you've got the responsibility, of course, waving guys to home, waving guys to third. You've got to make a split-second decision based on where the ball is at the time and where the runner is.
Long run for Gregorius. It hits the girder. And it's a dead ball. That's 2 in 2 days that we've seen hit high enough to hit the steel up above here at Minute Maid Park. And And that, to me, is a bad break for the Yankees because it looked like it was going to stay in play. It was a foul ball when it hit. And Gregorius was getting over there, but a dead ball, and now a 1-2 pitch coming to McCann. Back to the top of the order, and George Springer after McCann takes ball 2.
You practice these plays countless hours in spring training, and the Astros absolutely perfected this defensively once the ball was hit. You put yourself in a position, and then all you hope is that you can execute.
Little fly ball to center. Hicks. All right, so here's the audio of Joe Espada with Gardner running on the ball in the corner.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. 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 Be right there. Right there.
Relay gets it. Great arm. Throws it as soon as he can. Pulls it just a little bit. Just a tough decision for third base coach to see that ball against the wall, the distance Reddick had to go get, and ultimately by inches out for the third out at third.
So back to the top of the order and George Springer. But the risk reward doesn't work in that situation. You've got Judge. I know he struggled coming up. You've got a guy with 52 home runs, 53 total, including the postseason coming up. 2 out. He's already going to be at second base. He can run. There's really no point in trying to push it there as you're trying to break through against Justin Verlander. That's just a mistake.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Gardner's the only guy that you would even risk it with. He's the fastest guy in the lineup. So
2-1 pitch. 2-2. Springer couldn't hold up. Reddick made a couple of good plays in the top of the inning. He's next. Will that stay in play? Sanchez. 2 out. So here comes Josh Reddick, who made the catch on the ball hit by Headley, and then started the relay on the ball hit by Gardner.
it's like 0.5 seconds. Both guys got the ball and got rid of it.
He's on as well. 4th inning of game 2. Another good pitching matchup. No score. Today's telecast, presented by Camping World, is sponsored by the 2017 Lincoln MKX. Play Ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation. Play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To learn more, go to playball.org. Aaron Judge first up, then Gregorius, then Sanchez against Verlander.
Right.
18 strikeouts now and 28 at bats this postseason for Judge. Lost Greg Bird at the plate on the throw by Marwin Gonzalez in left in what ended up being a 1-run game. A scoreless game here today. Judge was standing there watching Gardner get thrown out at third base last inning. 0-2 pitch. Jam shot. Bregman. 1 out. And with the veteran Brett Gardner getting thrown out at third base, Joe Girardi is over there talking to him. That's not on Gardner. Gardner was being waved around, and he was a little surprised getting to second that he was being pushed to get to third. And I don't know if Girardi's calming him down or just trying to talk through that final out at the top of the third.
Yeah, it's part of everything you go through, right? When you're a reaction sport like we have in baseball. One thing I love about Gardner is he never takes a play off. He never does anything on a what-if scenario. He's always full bore. First ground ball out of the game off of Verlander.
Strike 2 on Didi Gregorius.
So basically, you're talking about the Astros having two different approaches. Their infielders were going to be busy yesterday, and they were. Keuchel, ground ball. Verlander, more of an outfield fly ball, strikeout pitcher.
Gregorius gets under it into shallow left center. 3 players close to it. Gonzalez from left for the second out.
The other thing I like that Verlander has done is he attacked almost every hitter with a first pitch fastball. So he knows that the Yankees are not an aggressive first pitch type swinging team, so he set the stage to make it easier for him to navigate one and a half times through the lineup, where if he faces them a third time, he could start messing with the slider curveball in the first pitch. So a good game plan, taking advantage of a patient grind out type lineup that the Yankees employ.
Here's the catcher, Gary Sanchez. Sanchez struck out his first time. Verlander has struck out for no runs on 2 hits. Severino, no runs on 1 hit. Breaking ball is swung on and missed. Strike 2.
That one a little bit on the side of his hand. You see it come up with the break. Fooling Sanchez.
Off the end of the bat into right center. Who's coming up? Jose Altuve, who's got 4 straight hits. He'll lead it off in the bottom of the 4th inning with the Yankees and Astros scoreless. Jose Altuve first up. Shattered bat. 1 hop. Castro. 1 out. Again, jumping that first pitch, and the bat breaks.
You don't see that very often. You don't see the bat break for Jose Altuve.
The good news for Altuve is, as you watch this thing just shatter, according to his manager, A.J. Hinch, he doesn't fall in love with any bat. Whose ever bat he grabs, if it feels good to him, he'll take it to the plate, and then he'll look at the name on the bat later.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And if he doesn't get any hits, he's definitely changing the bat. So he's hunting for hits like I'm hunting for putters.
That's why God created basements. Carlos Correa walked his first time. More putters in my basement. Jack Nicklaus. That's up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I tell you what, Severino has had a really good start to this game, obviously matching Verlander. Low stress, commanding the fastball against a great lineup. You can just see the difference now in his body and mannerisms after that first start. Things were happening fast. People forget that was his first postseason start. It happened to be in a Game 7 type atmosphere, and he really was just too amped up, forgot to pitch.
That is a foul ball. Correa has to shake out his hands as that one broke right off the end of the bat, and he almost found that hole between Bird and the line.
And he too is doing a nice job. We got a chance to talk to Joe Girardi and his praise of Larry Rothschild and his ability to kind of navigate his pitchers with a game plan. Statistically, Severino throws a lot of sliders, more sliders than you would think fastballs. And he has been able to show the confidence in his fastballs in this game. And that can go a long way to facing the Houston Astros, not being afraid of what power they possess and damage they can do.
Correa, who had a torn ligament in his left thumb, had to shake out the hands after that shattered bat. Now waits for a 1-2. Into right, pretty well hit. Judge is back. It is gone for a home run. Just over the wall, and Correa's made it 1-0 Houston. There's a little kid out there with a glove, and he may have reached over. And now here comes Joe Girardi. He may challenge this play. Watch this little boy. I don't know. That ball looks like it's gone.
Yeah.
But Girardi's out there, and he's going to look at it, ask to look at it. And that looks like that ball's high enough to get over the wall, John.
Yeah, and this is what replay was first established for, right? The home runs to determine plays like this.
His heart's got to be racing, but I would say he didn't interfere.
No, I would agree. I think Judge, obviously, if he gets back there, he's playing a little bit shallower. We watched, and at least I watched, this man put on a display in batting practice. Correa could go the other way better than most right-handers you've ever seen.
Replay review sponsored by WB Mason. Somewhere Jeffrey Mayer is smiling. Kid who interfered at Old Yankee Stadium. Welcome to the club, he says, but I think that ball's high enough, although they are reviewing. And by the way, this does not count as a challenge by Joe Girardi. Home run boundary calls not on that list, but a long look and no call yet.
Correa just used the power of Severino and went the other way.
Home run. And a 1-0 lead for Houston. That means they have scored first, John, in every postseason game so far this October.
Well, they've gotten great starting pitching to do that, and of course then they come out of the gates offensively.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. He had an eventful night. We'll hear from Kenny after the first pitch, but Gonzalez not only made that play out and left by throwing out Greg Bird, what ended up a 2-1 game. But Ken Rosenthal, what happened after the game with Marwin?
Well, he became a father again, and this day started for him at about 11:30 a.m. That's when he dropped his wife Noelle off at the hospital, knowing she was about to give birth. Now, when the game ended, Joe, he didn't check his phone for messages because he figured by the time he got to the hospital, Noelle would be there with the surprise of baby in her arms. Turns out he made it in time, plenty of time, for the birth of his son. The couple's third child, Blake, born at 12:52 a.m., but the day wasn't over. Gonzalez got home about 4, slept for about 4 hours, then went back to the hospital this morning before coming to the park today. Joe, no maternity leave this time of year.
Yeah, exactly. So Marwin, congratulations to Marwin and Noel, and welcome to the world, baby Blake. Now they're going to check on Severino and make sure he's okay. I don't know what the Yankees saw, but something. Meanwhile, StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services and the arm strength. First at Fenway to get Moreland. That was in game 4, and then last night in game 1. 97 mile per hour. And Gonzalez threw out Greg Bird. Severino is fine, by the way, and Gonzalez, you can see by the starts by position, he will play literally, I'm not going to say anywhere, but you need a spot to fill, he's your guy. Severino is fine. He brings a pitch down. Count 3-1 now on Gonzalez. Yuli Gurriel, who walked his first time, on deck. Mile high on the infield again, but this time it avoids the girders and finds the glove of Frazier. 2 out. Later tonight, the NLCS gets started on TBS. Game 1, Cubs and Dodgers with Quintana, the left-hander, against Kershaw, the left-hander, 8 Eastern. Followed tomorrow with Game 2 at 7:30 Eastern. Then on Monday, we'll be back, and we'll be coming at you from the Bronx. Game 3 of the ALCS. Coverage beginning at 7 Eastern on FS1. First pitch swinging is Gurriel. Strike 1. Big loss for the LA Dodgers. One of the best young players in the game. Corey Seager is not on the NLCS roster, a back injury. He also had the arm injury this season, and he is a big presence not in the lineup for Dave Roberts.
Yeah, they've got a good young core over there, but that's going to hurt. Speaking of young core, I think you're seeing the future. If you're a Yankees fan, you're seeing the future. Justin Verlander on the mound. These two guys represent a lot of years difference. Verlander doing it for a long time, and I can see Luis Severino following in the same kind of footsteps. Health being the main concern.
Got Severino on the arm. Hopefully he's okay. The kid's got a souvenir. The Astros have a run, and Correa has got a home run. His 3rd of this postseason. 1-0 back after this from your local station. Well, it may have been done in different ways, but last night and game 2 today, very similar in a couple of different ways. First of all, like last night, the game was scoreless through 3.5, and Carlos Correa drove in the first Astro run. He did it last night with a hit to score Altuve. He does it in game 2 with a home run just over the wall and right. Like last night, Dallas Keuchel struck out 4 of the first 7 batters. Verlander did that today. He has struck out still just the 4 now through 4 innings as Bird takes a strike and the count evens as we begin the 5th.
Bird has quietly become the most dangerous hitter in the Yankees lineup, in my opinion, with some of his at-bats. Of course, the homer last night. Missing so much of the year in reps and timing.
Behind that fastball, the Yankees have gained on it a little bit in the sense that they've gone 6 straight plate appearances without a strikeout after striking out, what, 18 times during the first 11 innings of this ALCS. 1-2. Strikeout number 5 in the game for Verlander.
Put a hat on the ball that that he is throwing in that spot against Bird, but it just has such good life. Four-seam fastball. The way that Justin Verlander throws the baseball on his long arms and the fluid body, it just gets on the hitter so quickly.
Strike one to Starlin Castro. Broken bat single his first time. His 8th hit of the postseason. His first in his career against Verlander in 7 bats. Strike two.
And again, you get this time of year, you know you're facing some great pitching. And unfortunately in the postseason, we haven't seen as many of the aces beyond their game. But the last two, and for the Astros for the postseason, Verlander and Keuchel been really, really good.
Struck him out. Number 6.
The Yankees knew they were going to have to make Verlander work, build his pitch count up, try to foul off some of these pitches, and they just haven't been able to do it other than Gardner.
Pitches by inning, getting more efficient over the last 3, unless Aaron Hicks can make it work. That's strike one. Into the gap in left center field. Springer just knocks it down, and that's a double for Hicks. Opportunity for the Yankees here in the 5th.
Job just going with the pitch. Fastball away, not trying to pull it. Now the Yankees are trying to do something no one else has been able to do against Verlander with runners in scoring position, and that's put a batting average against him. With the Astros, what I looked up, 0-0-0 with runners in scoring position on the year. It's at 200.
The Yankees need something out of their third baseman, Todd Frazier, part of that July deal coming from the White Sox. 2 key members of their bullpen. All 3 Yankee hits have come with 2 out. A high strike starts the at-bat. Frazier fly to left his first time. Hicks can run. He's the runner at second, 2 out. That's in the air to left center field. Back at the wall. It is off the wall and stuck in there to tie the game at 1.
Well, it's stuck up top and the padding up above.
And Springer's just trying to knock it down. It's a 1-1 game as that ball is in the padding, and Todd Frazier's tied it. He's going to have to go back to second base. He's already in the dugout. He thinks he circled the bases, but that ball just ended up behind that padding. But Frazier delivers here, John, with 2 out. Back-to-back doubles.
That was huge because Frazier's had the most experience against Verlander. And Verlander has treated him with a lot of sliders, and this is a slider that stays up a little bit. Frazier doesn't come off of that area of the ballpark, or that area of the plate, excuse me, and he stayed committed to his plan. Strong enough to hit it up in that area. and it wedges.
They're sending Frazier reluctantly back to second base. Somebody just climbed up there and got it. He tried, but no. Back-to-back double zone in a 1-1 game. So a delivery by Todd Frazier with 2 outs, and that's his second postseason RBI. Strike 1 now on Headley. The DH spot has gone 0 for 25. Headley rode the ball to the wall. Caught by Reddick his first time up. Hicks and Frazier. Made it 1-1 here in the 5th. Strike 2 on Headley.
Tell you, Frazier's batting average on the year wasn't what he wanted, I'm sure. Most of that with the White Sox. But he has been a big part of the Yankees in that ALDS, and now right here, tying the game up with a 2-out hit off of Verlander.
The New Jersey native from Tom's River makes the Yankee fans happy here in the 5th. I'd like to make them even happier by racing home. The DH 0 for 25 this postseason. The last Yankee DH with a postseason hit, Raul Ibanez. Anibal Sanchez, Game 2 of the 2012 ALCS. Headley trying to break that streak.
I mean, it was tight on his belt. Slider that stayed up but in. They've been pitching Headley in most of the time this postseason. I think Justin would like to see the back foot slider more and a swing over the top if he chooses to go back to back with that pitch.
Takes ball 2.
Great pitch. That's what you want to do. Right there is where you want it. And you're a little stunned if you're Verlander going, how did he lay off of that? He just swung at one that was almost going to hit him in the belt. This pitch is on the inner half. Looks like it's a strike coming out of the hand. But he took it.
We saw Luis Severino get hit by that batted ball. The left arm, wrist, glove when he left in the bottom of the 4th. Nobody's up for the Yankees in their penny. Must be all right. 2-2 pitches high, a full count.
Justin would really like to have this at bat and not face Gardner with first and second if he loses them to a walk.
Center, Springer in to make the grab. To Todd Frazier. Drives one to left center. Back-to-back doubles and a smile for the Yankee third baseman. It's 1-1 halfway through Game 2. Today's telecast is presented by Camping World, America's #1 RV retailer since 1966. It is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. Well, we saw Tommy Kahnle down there standing in the bullpen. And now he's in the game as we give you the Cricket Wireless call to the bullpen, and we'll have to find out if indeed what I mentioned is the issue. The ball hit by Gurriel off the left arm, wrist, glove area at the end of the 4th inning is why Severino's out of the ballgame. He was good, John. 4 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, the home run. He leaves in a 1-1 game, and their young, hard-throwing star, Severino, is out of the ballgame. We'll show you the replay as Beltran sends one in the air to center. So here's the ball hit by Gurriel. And then we didn't see really much action in the bullpen when the Yankees had tied it. Maybe some of that had been going on beforehand for the back-to-back doubles. We'll have to wait and find out if that's indeed the issue with Severino. Tom Verducci, do you know anything down there?
Well, I saw when he came off the field that half inning, the assistant trainer did examine him. They looked at his left hand. He said, "I'm fine." And it was very brief, the examination. But remember, Joe Girardi had gone out to that mound earlier in the inning. Some concern about the health of Severino. His last 2 fastballs were 97 and 96. Now factored in game situation, the bullpen is in the game.
They've got Canely here. They've got Robertson ready for a long appearance if they need him, and their big left-handed closer Chapman in that same category. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, this speaks to the lineup more than it does to Severino, because he's never had a game where he's gone 4 innings and failed to record a strikeout. That's on the lineup. That's how good the lineup is for the Astros. You mentioned no Ks. And now it's up to the great bullpen of the Yankees to keep it there.
That's outside to Bregman. Obviously, if we get any more information with Severino, not just with regard to today, but it would factor in further into the month of October if the Yankees are able to force more games and advance past the Houston Astros. They're going to need Severino. That is down. Now 3-1.
Fastball, power, changeup. Those last couple were changeups at 90, 91 miles an hour. Fastball can reach 100 straight over the top. Bregman is going to be keyholing a fastball right here, middle of the plate.
He's hit 2 home runs this postseason. He takes a 1-out walk. Well, here's what Tom Verducci was talking about. A good reminder. Here's that pitch that goes way up and away, and then Severino tries to stretch out the arm, and he turned around and saw Joe Girardi, the trainer, standing out there. He said he was okay. And he got the ball off the glove, the wrist. According to Tom Verducci, came in and said he was fine, but he's out of the game.
Thank God my trainers knew me. You know how many times they'd come out and see me? Oh man, you got to get the kinks and the potato chips out of there sometimes.
1 on, 1 out. Canely dealing with McCann. Strike 1. This guy is a talented pitcher. Tommy Canely, who started the year with the White Sox, came with Robertson and the guy who just tied the game, Todd Frazier, in a July deal put together by Brian Cashman. Pitch down and in, strike 2.
There's the changeup off that fastball, delivery and arm actions, everything the same. Hard to get ready for a 99 and then see 89, and the ball just doesn't get there, it seems like, to the hitter. You got to start the engines quicker. Can's trying to get it out there and do the dirty leg changeup at him.
Right-hander misses down and in. He ended up in 32 games with the Yankees, won 1-1 with an ERA of 2.7 after an ERA of 2.5 in 37 games with Chicago.
It would have been nice if Severino could have given the Yankees another inning or 2. 5 would have been ideal. Maybe 6 would have been the perfect start, because then you don't have to go deep into your bullpen and shorten it up with the power arms that they have. But Joe's got a day off tomorrow, down 1-0 in the series. He likes the position he's in right now with the score and who's got the ball.
That is second. who knew who was running at the plate. His former teammate Brian McCann got the force at second, and Gregorius then fed him at the bag. Let's go to the 6th inning, a 1-1 game. Presented by Camping World is sponsored by Applebee's. 2 for $20. And by T-Mobile. This postseason, there's a new leader in network. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. A Texas-shaped pool downtown Houston. They love their Astros. Fun team to watch. The Yankees, 27-time world champion Yankees, trying to win this series and go to the World Series for the first time since they won it all in '09. Verlander back in a 1-1 game. 6th inning, top of the order. 1-0 pitch to Brett Gardner.
The Yankees approach really has to come into play now. Grind it out with their at-bats. Facing some great pitching, but they have messed up some pretty good pitchers along the way to get to this point.
1-1 pitch, Gardner, breaking ball for a strike.
Even with Gardner, they put on a shift with 2 strikes. Really make it the ultimate shift. Make me nervous the way he can hit the ball the other way.
Strikeout starts the 6th. 7 for Verlander here in game 2. Tonight, college football on FS1 as Nebraska hosts 9th-ranked Ohio State. Then Oregon faces off with number 23 Stanford. It all happens tonight on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. This is for the hitters.
Yeah.
Yankees have struck out 21 times. Houston 5. Fewest number of strikeouts during the regular season for Houston while they led baseball on average. And that Aaron Judge would like to have back as he fouls it straight back to the screen, strike 1.
Well, Justin Verlander, the first time, this is how he's pitched to him. He did a great job by basically continuing the theme. Show him one and then really go to the breaking ball. And that's what he did consistently in the first at bat. The second at bat, he threw them all fastballs. So there's a little bit more of, I got the respect of my fastball and I'm going to go after you. So that's how you navigate through the lineup more than 2 or 3 times when you're facing a guy on multiple occasions.
These are the first looks for Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, and Greg Bird at Justin Verlander. Is that advantage Verlander?
Yeah, I think so, because he understands what he can do with his fastball. He's seen the charts and knows how to get him out. The one thing he can do, which is the theme of baseball today, is spin breaking balls. And that is the kind of the kryptonite version of hitters who are trying to launch the ball up in the air and hit the ball in the ballpark. And honestly, that's what I miss most about pitching. It doesn't exist as much because we don't see the guy have an opportunity to face the lineup 3 times. When you're going through a great lineup, you cannot show him everything all the time. And being able to get him out multiple times is an art. And yes, the numbers show it might not be advantageous for the starter to be in there, but certain veteran guys, like AJ said, he's above the line. I don't pay attention to a lot of the information when a Keuchel or a Verlander's on the mound.
Gregorius. He can untie this with 1 swing. He's 0 for 2, strike 1. From Verlander, who can strike out the side. A lot of Ks, 8 so far. Gonzalez in left. Shadow to the sun, to a shadow, and the inning is over. Bottom of the 6th. Another good one. Tied at 1. The American League Championship Series presented by Camping World on Fox. Producer Pete Macheska, Matt Gangle, our director. Cast of hundreds here at Fox, bringing you this action from Houston. Another good game. 1-1, bottom of the 6th. Top of the order, George Springer, ball 1.
I know I'm having a blast. I hope everybody at home is appreciating that we don't get a chance to see a lot of these games with the way the baseball game has changed philosophically, but we are in for a treat in this series. Great execution so far by the pitchers.
2-0 to count on Springer. The Astros have not struck out through 5 innings. Last team to do that through 5 innings was the 2006 Detroit Tigers in Game 1 of the ALCS at Oakland. They just know how to put the bat on the ball as the count goes to 3-0.
See what AJ does here. Springer's been getting real big with his swing. 3-0 might not normally be a take, but in this situation probably would like to see one.
3-0 pitch right down the chute. 34 home runs plus 1 in the postseason for George Springer, American League All-Star.
There's another indication he got too big right there with the swing. That was ball 4, but trying to hunt the fastball, knowing it was coming 3-1. These are the kind of pitches you got to take your walk, pass it on to the next guy. By the way, the next guy's pretty good, and then the next guy's even better. So their lineup just gets long and lengthy. If each guy does their job, he doesn't try to do too much.
See if Canely can come back from a 3-0 count. By the Yankee right-hander. Our game summary sponsored by Budweiser. 1-1 game. Great pitching again as we had last night. Todd Frazier, that guy, with a game-time double in the 5th with 2 out. Carlos Correa with a solo home run in the 4th. His 3rd postseason home run. And remember, this was the pitch before it. Shattered his bat. Gets a new one. Goes deep. Catch of a lifetime by that kid over the wall and right. Here's Reddick. Canely at 97, high for ball 1.
Thinking a best of 7. What you're going to see here is teams more relaxed a little bit. The best of 5 gets you kind of tense. There's not much room for error. A lot of crazy stuff can happen in a best of 5.
While Canely's on the mound, David Robertson is getting loose for the Yankees in their bullpen.
It's been awesome the second time around coming back to the Yankees. Been so valuable for Joe.
2-2. There's only one way Joe Girardi wants to celebrate his 53rd birthday, and that's with a 1-1 series going back to New York.
That's where you want to get Reddick. Canely, you don't mind getting the ball up in the upper tier of the strike zone, getting it higher.
Full count again. Little hitting machine is on deck.
Yeah. It might be a machine.
Another 3-2 pitch. That is in the air to left. Easy for Gardner. And now Altuve.
Well, I said before, he can have a 4 or 5 at bat, 6-pitch night. Doesn't take much. What has it been? 2 pitches, 2 at bats, a base hit, and a ground out to second base.
So what, do you just groove the fastball here on the first pitch?
Change up. I'm throwing change up. I'm not throwing fastball and letting him get this crowd going crazy.
24 home runs during the regular season. 3 more this postseason. Well, that's the fastball, strike 1.
Slider.
Sanchez trying to frame it. Ball is strike.
And again, we marvel over the ability every year to just get hits. He may not walk a lot, but he finds ways to get hits. He's away from the batter's box and kind of makes him move in, but his head is so still when he's hit. There's the changeup.
See what he's done. The first player to lead the league outright in hits 4 straight seasons. He's hit .334 over the last 4 years. All right, now a 1-2 pitch. How about Canley? What a job by Tommy Canley, who's yelling on his way back to the dugout. Couldn't do any better. 1-1 game into the 7th inning now, game 2. Back after this from your local station. Well, there's Kate Upton watching Justin Verlander work against the Yankees here. And then Chris Paul, the 9-time NBA All-Star, and James Harden with a better beard than Dallas Keuchel. 5-time NBA All-Star checking out the Houston Astros, the Houston Rockets. Here we go into the 7th. Sanchez first up. Good breaking ball from Verlander, strike 1.
He's done a nice job retiring the leadoff man in all 6 innings so far. Slider's been a key. 21 of them coming in, 18 strikes. You see the numbers on the game.
Every time these big hitters for the Yankees look up, it must feel like it's 0-2. It is here. Verlander has struck out 8. He's got Sanchez set up. .35 home runs all in for Sanchez this year. Chased it. Strikeout number 9.
Now this one wasn't even close, but it speaks to how much you got to be prepared. The tight slider. And at this point, it's just emergency swing. He's already committed as Sanchez.
He's only thrown 17. Verlander has out of the strike zone. He's got 85 pitches in the game. Here is the dangerous Greg Bird. 0 for 2. Homered last night. He's been locked in since middle September. On the inside corner for strike 1.
If you're wondering how that little relief appearance did to him to interrupt his rhythm as never doing that before, I don't think it's done anything but enhanced his opportunity to have the team get on his back.
Count 2-1 here. He started in game one against the Red Sox 8-2, went 6 innings. Relieved in game 4 at Fenway, 5-4, went 2 2/3. That was on Monday. Here's a 2-1. This ties him up, 96, 2-2.
That's such a great pitch. I mean, you got to have it in the right spot because Bird has shown what he can do when it's not in the right spot. Just an inch or two right at the belt. Ties him up.
Full count.
Now the first one that he's tried to throw in one area and missed badly in the other. Only one.
Bird checks his swing, and it's a 1-1. First walk given by Verlander in this game.
Yeah, his first back-to-back fastballs that he kind of left out away from the intended target.
Well, we know from last night that Greg Bird is not fleet of foot. He said after the game, "I'm just not fast." He was on the move on a 3-2 pitch on a base hit by Aaron Judge, 5th, cut down at the plate by Marwin Gonzalez. As a go-ahead run at first with 1 out. Here's Starlin Castro. That is going to be a long run for Correa.
Did a nice job establishing the fastball, beating most of the hitters to the punch in the first pitch, and then killing them with sliders. I would think that this would be the approach with Castro. He wants him reaching away, ideally hitting the ground ball right to Correa and turning 2. So much more fun to pitch when you're pitching ahead in the count.
Strike 2.
Well, there was the slider. Now he can steal a few more inches off the plate if he wants to go right back with 2 strikes. When you pitch a postseason game, physically you're prepared. Mentally it takes a toll. It's a longer game. You're grinding harder. So you have to focus later in the game and really put more attention to the location of where you're going. Instead of earlier, you can trust that you're going to be fresh and velocity is going to take over.
Strikeouts for Verlander, 2 out here in the 7th.
And some of these just really making the Yankees look bad on pitches that, again, coming out of his hand, can't quite tell if it's going to be that 4-seamer that holds its plane or that slider.
It's 7 straight games now with 10 or more strikeouts for these Yankee hitters. Longest streak in postseason history continues. Here's Hicks. Double and a run scored his last time. Had a good at bat last night against Keuchel. Drove one to the wall in center. It takes ball 1. That's why they went out and got Verlander. Out of the 7th inning. 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up. Tied at 1. Dallas Keuchel last night, 7 innings. No runs on 4 hits, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Game 2, Justin Verlander. 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, with 10 strikeouts. And as we revisit the keys to the game that were brought to us by the Lincoln Motor Company, I guess the Astros are getting exactly what they want here today, as they did last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't draw it up any better. And you would think that they have a few more runs on the board. But Verlander's also done everything in those keys to the game. Quick outs, climbed the ladder, loved the new home. Introduced himself to Judge. It has been a classic Verlander-style game, and the Yankees are right where they want to be, with a chance to win and steal a game and go back home to a lively crowd waiting them in the Bronx.
1-1 game. Bottom of the 7th inning, heart of the order for Houston. Correa, 1 pitch, 1 out. David Robertson takes over. Canely was great. 2 innings, walked 1, but got around that by getting a double play ball. Faced the minimum, struck out 1, threw hard. Now here's Marwin Gonzalez against Robertson, and you cannot say enough for the job that David Robertson did in, first of all, the wild card game, and then throughout that division series against the Indians.
Yeah, it's been way above what's asked of them, because the multiple innings and the way that they had to get here relied heavily on the bullpen, and Robertson, with his power breaking ball, hard cutter, led the way.
He's good against left-handers because of that great curveball. Strike 1 on Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2.
It's a power curveball. It's one of those that absolutely, at the height, drops like it's fallen off a table.
There's Brian Cashman. Put together this young core. Supposed to be in some ways a rebuilding year, but after that good start, he went to work, and in July brought Robertson back to the Yankees with Canely and Frazier. Strike 2. Game 5 in Cleveland in the division series. Sabathia went 4 1/3, struck out 9, but then they needed the bullpen. Robertson got a double play ball, 2 2/3. Chapman 2 innings, and here they are in the LCS. David Robertson from Alabama. Clemson Tide. They play this evening. He said, I never get to watch them on Saturdays. I'm always working. Well, trying to keep it 1-1. Got it. Nasty. 2 out. Today's telecast, presented by Camping World, is sponsored by Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs. And by Charles Schwab, own your tomorrow.
Well, this is a good curveball pitcher against a pretty good curveball hitter for a right-hander facing a right-handed pitcher in Gurriel.
That was a good pitch, called ball 1. Gurriel 0 for 1 with a walk. He's the one that hit the ball back off the starter, Luis Severino, off his left arm. Last time we saw Severino in this game went only 4. Oh, that's a strike. Robertson used to set up Mariano Rivera. Back for his second tour with the Yankees. He said he doesn't throw as hard, but he's a better pitcher and has a much better curveball that he can throw now for strikes. Strike two.
Yeah, well, you know, he learned that cutter, and the influence of Mariano down there certainly helped a lot of young future star relievers. Game's greatest, Mariano Rivera. I don't think we'll ever see anyone quite like him again. If I was a catcher, I would be very much not liked when Mariano came in. I would just tell the hitter, you know what's coming. Right? There's nothing you can do about it.
Cutter, yeah, cutter. Break your bat, get upset. The Yankees win. Two-two to Yuli Gurriel. The red-hot Correa has a two-out double.
Well, this was matching strength against strength. Correa handles the breaking ball from the right-handers. Now, granted, he's not going to see this kind of breaking ball all the time, but he stays in. It doesn't bother him, and it wasn't one of the better ones that David Robertson threw. But this guy can flat out hit.
"33-year-old quote-unquote rookie, but a veteran of great baseball down in Cuba. He is standing at second with two out for Carlos Beltran."
On the flip side, the curveball gives Beltran troubles unless it's up over the plate.
That's a strike. Carlos Beltran, 60th career postseason game. A career .441 hitter with runners in scoring position.
He's definitely keyholing a pitch that he's looking for in a certain area. If he gets it, he won't miss it. The problem is he's got to get it.
Tried to do it all himself back in 2004, Beltran for the Astros. Now he's back. The age of 40, the 1-1. Into the shift. Castro makes the play. And this good Yankee bullpen does its job so far. What a game. 8th inning, tied at 1. Welcome back to the ALCS, presented by Camping World on Fox. No changes for Houston as they take the field in the 8th. 1-1 game, and that means Verlander right in the heart of the action. Check swing foul for Todd Frazier. Verlander has struck out 10, walked 1, allowed 1 run on 4 hits. Frazier drove in the run with an RBI double with 2 out in the 5th. Swing there, but strike 2.
Well, if you're into this kind of thing, first at bat against Verlander, 195. Second at bat, 236. Third at bat, 232. Doesn't seem to bother him. When you're in rhythm, you're in rhythm, and right now he is rolling.
Pitch number 100. Strikeout number 11. And Frazier gets into the face of Hunter Wendelstedt and Joe Girardi out to make sure there's no ejection.
This one looked like it split the plate. It did.
Ties a postseason high for Justin Verlander. 11 strikeouts. His all-time high is 14. Strike one.
That's interesting. I really thought maybe we'd get a rematch of Verlander and Sonny Gray when they went at it in the classic duels. 1-0. Sonny will have to wait a few games to get his opportunity.
Gets the ball in game 4. That is outside on Headley. Hit the ball on the wall in the 3rd. Caught at the very top of it by Reddick and right. Lined out to center, so he's had a couple of good swings against Verlander. Good pitch down and in, strike 2.
You know, coming over here and reconnecting with the slider with that video I was talking about, he's now got his hand in the right position. That kind of break was not consistent 7, 8, 9 starts ago. That's a wipeout slider versus the cutter that he threw earlier in the year. When you can establish a fastball on the inner part of the plate, the hitter has to recognize that he's going back in there, but the problem is it's diving at your back foot. So it looks like it's almost going to hit his leg. That is filthy.
Bases empty for Brett Gardner. Strike 1.
Well, Justin, I don't know how many more years he's going to pitch. If he ever gets in a funk later in his career, go right back to this video, because this game is a perfect example of how to power in with strikes early and then pitch off the plate with 2 strikes late.
A.J. Hinch said to you, when we met with him before the game, how proud of me were you last night when I let Keiko go over 100 pitches. And he said he put his lineup together today, same as game 1. He was disappointed in himself. He's got Verlander out there over 100 pitches, dominating in the 8th. He hasn't had to do anything yet. He could strike out the side in the 8th inning.
Strike out the side and probably tell his manager he's good for 1 more when he gets to the dugout.
Gardner hit 21 home runs during the regular season, has 1 this postseason.
That's why I think he'll stay away from the curveball. The down and in curveball is right where Gardner would like it for his power stroke.
Brilliant! Today's telecast, presented by Camping World, is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Verlander with 13 strikeouts. Just a dominant, brilliant performance. And this game is tied into the bottom of the 8th, and a strike from Robertson. First it was Severino, then Tommy Kahnle, then David Robertson. 3 guys trying to match what Verlander's doing and keep it a 1-1 game through 8.
Yeah, you got to be ecstatic if you're the Yankees. You're matching one of the best performances in the playoffs with a chance to still win the game.
Alex Bregman flies one into right. Judge is there, 1 out. This is game 2 of the ALCS. Tonight, game 1 of the Dodgers and the Cubs. That's at 8 Eastern on TBS, followed tomorrow with game 2 at 7:30 Eastern. Then on Monday, we'll be back at it, game 3 in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on FS1. Tonight, Jose Quintana against Clayton Kershaw, 2 lefties. Dodgers had a chance to sit back and lined up, while the Cubs had to pretty much exhaust every possibility to get through the Nationals in 5 games 2 nights ago. Here's McCann, strike 1. Bryant 0 for 2. Robertson pitched around a 2-out double last inning. Strike 2. Live action here from Houston. And with the NLCS game coming up tonight, you can live every postseason moment with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all. Live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, much more. Download at bat today. 0-2 to McCann. Got him looking. And good Robertson curveball, 2 out. Second strikeout for the Yankee right-hander. I don't think he liked the pitch. It was effective, but he was shaking his head after it.
Well, you're the catcher, right? Brian McCann would like to see that on the other side with his pitcher. So even if he doesn't agree with it, he's going to have to wear it so that he can get his starting pitcher the same kind of pitches.
Back to the top of the order, and that means Springer.
Well, nobody warming up for the Astros in the pen.
Robertson makes it look easy in the 8th. And game 2 of this ALCS with Judge, Gregorius, and Sanchez coming up is tied at 1. Well, here is Aaron Judge. There is Justin Verlander. 9th inning, 1-1 game. 96. Strike 1. Judge has struck out twice. 2 of Verlander's 13.
Start a game like this, you hope to make about 115 to 120 good decisions. He's been so committed in every pitch with conviction, it's showing.
And Giles, the closer, is up. Aroldis Chapman, the closer for the Yankees, is up. The people in these seats are up. Pitch is down, 1-2.
You get to this point, you can't have any doubt in any pitch that you throw, and you'll be fine. You can live with the results.
The rookie, Aaron Judge. 2-2. Full count. Now he has to guide it into the strike zone where Aaron Judge could erase a lot of frustration with one swing. You
got to trust. Does he trust he's got enough on his fastball to beat Aaron Judge on a 3-2 pitch?
Jammed him into left center field. Springer 1 out, and Judge is 0 for 4. Home runs mean more this postseason as T-Mobile is guaranteeing at least $1 million for hurricane recovery efforts. With every home run hit worth $10,000. Help break $1 million by tweeting hashtag HR4HR. T-Mobile will donate an additional $1 per tweet.
Thrust it was. Fastball in. Jammed him. Staying out of the windup.
Gregorius. Base hit. Go-ahead run is on. And we'll see how much leash Verlander has here in the ninth. The batter will be Gary Sanchez.
That was the first approach I've seen where the Yankee hitter looked like he was predetermined to give himself up from looking to try to hit a homer and just going exactly where the defense was. Watch how easy this looks when you just kind of backhand tennis lob right into center field.
Now Sanchez, runner at first, 1 out. Strike 1. Hit by Gregorius, only the 5th Yankee hit on the first pitch in 8 postseason games this year. Flipped it into center. Draws a throw. Oh, spun his wheels and asked for time over at first. Was McCann who asked for it. And Harris joins Giles. McCann trots out to talk to Verlander. Shallow center. Gregorius has to retreat. Reddick has it, 2 out.
So tempting. I know it's hard to do. Reddick had to come in a long way, but once he saw Gregorius really get back to standing on first base, you could have eliminated his speed and traded it with Sanchez on the bag by making the force out at second, but that's a lot of guts to do that in this moment.
Gregorius took off on that pitch. He was 3 for 4 in steals during the regular season. Hasn't tried to steal this postseason. This pitch will tie the season high for Verlander. 119. And Bird fouls it back here. Had a good rip. Look at the
ratio of strikes to balls. It's unbelievable.
Bird homered in the 9th inning last night. Again, number 2 in baseball with 9 home runs since September 15th. His teammate Aaron Judge won better.
Just so good under the circumstance. Pitch 121, I think.
Two out. Runner at first. 1-2 pitch. Nothing wrong with his velocity. 96 up and away.
He's been so in tune with his body today, and nothing really should change that at this point. Locked in.
Two and two.
When it's 1-2 this deep in the game, you know you got 3 pitches to make 1, basically. 2 strikes on the hitter. You want to have 3 different options to see if you can expand the zone before it gets to 3-2.
Slow roller. Out at first. Correa made that play, and Verlander through 9. Bottom of the 9th, game 2. Tied at 1. In this 1-1 game, bottom of the 9th inning and back in the 3rd. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. Reddick covering over 130 feet. The exchange by Correa. Half a second. And out at 3rd was Gardner. And now Reddick leads it off against a left-handed pitching of Aroldis Chapman, who was unscored upon in his last 18 2/3 innings. Unleashes at 99, ball 1. Reddick, then Altuve, then Correa.
Tough matchup for Reddick. Not much going on power-wise against left-handed pitching on the year.
Late with that swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chapman went 2 innings to get the save in game 5 in Cleveland. Here is his 1-1. Backing out of play off the bat of Reddick, trying to bunt his way on strike 2.
I mean, that's a good effort and a good idea.
Bullpen has been terrific for the Yankees. Canely 2 innings. Robertson 2 innings with 2 strikeouts and a hit. No runs. What a pitch. And no chance for Reddick.
Not fair. Slider off of the 100.
Altuve. One for 4 in his career against Chapman. Base hit. Altuve on with 1 out in the 9th. Jumps on at first pitch, 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Just shake my head. That's strength against strength. Fastball against the first pitch. First pitch, he loves it. Look how textbook that is. Chapman's in here because of the order of the lineup for the Astros. It's the part of the lineup. Typically on the road, you don't bring your closer in a tie game, but Joe has this lineup to deal with, so he's going with his best.
Altuve stole a base last night. 32 during the regular season. Brings it through.
And that's one thing you can do against the relievers of the Yankees, especially Betances and even Chapman. Yes, 100 miles an hour makes up for the slow delivery, and so does the arm of Sanchez.
Correa homered back in the 4th, the only Astro run of the game. Sizzling at 99 for ball 1.
I know he's thinking about it a little bit with Altuve over there, and it certainly can affect your command when you're in between. Certainly don't want the guy to get to second base, so you're going to have to hold him on, give him the moves you think alters his timing.
A little slider for strike 1.
Clutch. That'll mess with a hitter's head, too.
Switch hitter Gonzalez on deck. Right now it's Correa. With Altuve at first, 1 out. Another one, and this time it misses. 3-1.
Decision time right here for AJ. Send the runner, 3-1 count. Trust your hitter. He won't expand the zone just because he sees movement. Or do you just stay pat? I say send him.
Not moving on strike 2. Joe Girardi is out to talk to Hunter Wendelstedt, the crew chief. Gary Cedarstrom coming in. Here's a play. Gregorius rushed it, bounced it, and Altuve touched the plate. The throw beat him, but Sanchez could not make the catch.
I mean, this is unbelievable because he would have been out. Everything's right to this point. Didi gets it, fires home, but the slide in by Correa might have been the difference for Didi having to throw over Correa, and that might be what Joe was trying to ask about.
I think you're exactly right. This is what Girardi was talking about, the body of Correa on that pop-up slide, stopping the momentum of Gregorius on his throw home.
That is unreal baseball game.
How about Verlander gets the win?
Third win already with his team. Back-to-back 2-1 victories. And wow, the Yankees fought all the way. Game of inches.
Altuve got on with one out. Was not running on that 3-2 pitch, but scores on the hit by Correa. Down to Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Joe. Well, Justin, in a game dominated by relief pitching, you brought the game back to another era tonight. Men like Gibson, Koufax. How did you do what you did, and was there a conversation after the 8th inning about going back out for the 9th?
You know, just came out with a game plan to attack. You know, throw a bunch of strikes, try to put those guys on their heels and make them have to swing. You know, and then hopefully you can get them aggressive, and then later in the game expand. You know, it worked, but there was no conversation after the 8th, and you know, it was just kind of, hey, I think no words were necessary. It was my game for the 9th to win or lose.
You threw 31 balls to 32 batters tonight. How good was your stuff?
Dallas told me that after I was done. That might be the most strikes I've ever thrown. I don't know, but stuff was great. I mean, it's as good as it's been all year.
Things start to happen with this team with Jose Altuve. He did it again. Tell me, you're watching as a spectator in the bottom of the 9th, what you saw.
I mean, he's unbelievable. You know, I think you've seen it in the first 2 games of the series. You've seen it throughout the playoffs. The guy does everything. He can help your club win in so many different facets. And, I mean, Carlos, what can you say, man? He's so poised for such a young athlete, and he's such a good ball player and never lets the moment get too big for him. And, I mean, what 2 guys would you want up in that situation? And they got it done.
Justin, thank you. Congratulations. Back to you, Joe.
Wow. Our Hankook Tire dynamic play of the game. How can it be anything else? Correa on a 3-2 pitch, shot the gap in right center field. Aaron Judge cut it off. The ball got to the plate before Altuve, but Sanchez couldn't corral it.
Yeah, this is going to be, and we thought it was going to be a great series. It's set up. Yankees are going nowhere. Hard-fought 2-1 games by the home team, and now it goes to New York.
They'll be ready in the Bronx, but their team is down 2 games to nothing. Back-to-back 2-1 wins for the Astros, and they relied on the veteran Justin Verlander. He gets the win. Kevin, guys, all yours.